Hi guys, my name is Keval Chaudhary. I am a project manager in our group. Today, I and my team members Dhansri Pandya, Ekta Parwal and Abhishek Tandon are going to introducing about overview of our project and describe the first sprint of our project. First, I will give some information about our project. PEGS. What is PEGS? PEGS is a competitive, family-friendly hockey club located in Melbourne's northwest. PEGS hockey club manager is struggling to manage lots of data regarding events and activities. He is also struggling to manage their staff such as coaches, umpires, members, etc. So, our client Mr. Dominic Saperito is happy to do our project, Club Manager Member Volunteering Web application of PEGS Hockey Club with us. In this sprint, my main part is to setting up the login environment by gathering some data and distribute the different activities to my team members. So first of all, you can see what I already did, what I will do next, and what blocks I got while I am doing my first part. So I am going to tell about the scope of the project. In this sprint, the scope of this project is to make sure the application made user-friendly and all the deliverables of the project requirements are implemented. In this project, we choose different technologies such as Android Studios, Visual Studios, Flutter, etc. To develop the application, we also use authorization library and we include all the stakeholders throughout the project. We also record all the volunteer servers and send a notification to the volunteers. We also include the maps for volunteers in the third part of our project. After that, I made a roadmap for each week so we can smoothly reach to our goal. In the first week, we select project and got confirmation from university. As the same, we met with client and checked with requirements and then analyze those requirements and start to investigate on it. After finish that part, we are going to collect all the documentations. So after finish documentation part, my job is to set up login environment. We have to make login page in our first sprint. We also need to connect that new registration to the database. For the coding login page, I have to install coding software or tools as per client's requirement. So I install Android Studios, Visual Studios and Flutter in the computer for coding and develop Android applications. I coded login page in Android Studios with my team members. It was very hard when I started, but when I was going forward, it is easy and interesting. I also put background of application and logo of PEGS Hockey Club in the login page. You can see in the picture how application's login page looks like. Next, as the same as Android Studio, we install Visual Studio with Flutter and make it ready login page. We also connect it with Firebase database to save the data. Next, I will add activities and event in the application as per client's requirement. We also add some information of activities and events. Now I am ready to hand over my team members. Mr. Abhishek Tandon, thank you.
Hi, my name is Abhishek Tandon, and I'm one of the group members of mobile volunteer application for a hockey club named PEGS Club. In this, we are developing a mobile application for Android and iOS application, and as our project manager already told about that. So in my part, as you can see in the point number 4, that my responsibility is to get the admin block ready So in this, I'm providing the admin to log in and upload the events, and admin has a right to like manage and update the assets and details of all the members, all the events and activities that are going to be performed in this hockey club. In this I have analyzed the requirements of the users, and according to the user, we have tried to create a login and register activity in which we can make a new user register and the existing user to log in, and accordingly the admin can update the all the like details and events of the club. I have analyzed all the user stories and detailed documentation of this project, like resources required in this project, and developed a login screen. Initially, I did it in Android Studio on Windows platform, but when we met up to the client, and his requirement was to get it developed in Flutter, so we developed it again in Visual Studio using Flutter, and the database we are using is Firebase. So we connected it to the Firebase online, and as you can see in this screenshot, like there is a login page for this PEGS Hockey Club, and we have used a background for this, and this shows the code of this login page. And after that, when we started using the Flutter, this is a Flutter demo. It says like hello world, the very initial program just to get it used to Flutter. And then later on, we developed a login screen, and we are giving it design according to our mobile application requirement. So it should be ready by this end of this week. Thank you.
My name is Dhanashri Pandya, and I'm just continuing what my team member has specified about the PEGS Hockey Member Club. And we are developing the application on Android base and iOS as well, using a Firebase as a backend. And we have divided in a team of 4 all the works. My main duties were, before initiating the project, was to understand like how to use the technology and which can work on both Android and iOS platform. So we are using Flutter. We created the storyboard and the product roadmap as well, which specified each team member task, and the first task of us to finish the login page, where we developed the login page and the login authentication. So my main task was to understand the overall technology, so the confirm the use of software. That was our main task, avoided. So making sure that all the coding what we are performing and all the variables what we are adding can be done and performed on both Android and iOS platform. And making the applications is not that hard, but understanding the background of Flutter, how it works, all the principles, installations, and the compatibility in the system, that's the main thing to understand. So that's one of my tasks. The next task what I have performed is to make sure that the charts and the milestones and the deliverables are on the perfect timings. So the timings of the delivery start date and the end date cannot be justified by any case. It can be ahead of the time or maybe before as well. But we have understood the technology and divided the work so that all the information can be provided. So the main purpose to develop this application was to make sure that it allows the administrator of the member club to manage their volunteering activity, events, and how the hours has been allocated to specified activities such as umpiring and the coaching of the class, canting, or any other specified activity in the application. So the hockey club mainly at the moment uses the spreadsheet, which is really time consuming. And that was the main idea to develop this app so that it can be useful for all the volunteer and the admin. So my next step we saw that is to add some activities and events specified by my client. And all the requirements were gathered by suitable client meetings every week. So we meet the client, understand what they are required by this application, and make sure that we satisfy their need and in the given time and its use as well. These are some of the screenshot what we have done on the Android Studio in the Visual Studio. That is the main application which run on the Flutter, and we have created the variables and the password and authentication for all the different admin and the users as well. So this is the main page created which registers all the activity, and there are some of the user stories which we are supposed to do for the next sprint. And understanding the level of all the charts what we are making, milestones and Gantt chart will be shown in the sprint too. So just to sum up, my overall understanding of the technology has been really easy now as my use has increased, and all the information about the Flutter and the resources provided by our team and the client has been very useful.
Hi, my name is Ekta, and I am going to continue this video by explaining my part in this project. So, or you can say the task I am being allocated in this development of the mobile application. So first I would like to start with my part. So my task in this sprint one is to set up the secure login environment where I will be making sure that the secure authorization, like I need to enable the secure authorization login for volunteer member and for the admin as well. So starting with the first thing, what I have done in this project or mobile application. So first of all, I have prepared a rough blueprint of the application considering all the client's requirements. Then I have started working in Visual Studios using Flutter. So it was our first time to work with Flutter and Visual Studio as well. So first of all, I have learned all the things, all the tools, all the requirements which are needed to work with Visual Studio. So I have learned working with Fire database as well because it was the requirement of the data connectivity. So I have prepared or designed the login and the registration page. So in the login page, the user need to log in with the specified email address and the password if he is already signed up. If he's a new user, then he or she has to go for the registration page and where he needs to specify all his personal details, and then only he will be authorized to log in to this mobile application. So for the data connectivity, we have used Firebase over the internet. So we don't require any particular like pre-installed software for the data connectivity. We have used the Firebase over the internet. So our next step is to add some activities and events specified by my client which are required in this mobile application. So that will be included in the sprint 2. So and I will make sure that it would be like user friendly. So as I specified about the login screen, so this would be our login screen, and for the PEGS mobile application, so here the username has to enter his username, and here should be his password, and if he is already a user of this mobile application, then he or she can directly log in, access the login. If he hasn't registered himself, then he has to go to this register tab. So now I would explain what the hurdles or blocks or the problems we have faced. So working with Flutter was a bit tough to understand, but once I have watched some videos over the YouTube and tutorials and practice the tutorials, few codes, then it's getting easier day by day. So now I am like enjoying myself using Flutter, and and now it's very interesting to work with Flutter, and I'm happy to continue this mobile application in making in Flutter itself. Thank you so much.
Now I am going to summarize our first sprint of our project and what will we do next. So all in all the team members are doing well and we finish our first sprint of our project. Now we have a login page of our application and it is also connected with database. So now we are going to focus on next sprint of our project and start to add events, activities and those information on application. We also consider clients' requirements while adding events and activities. Thank you.